Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secrets to her glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. It's Amber Live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabareting on Amber Live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay. Hello. We're back. We took 3 weeks off, and oh my goodness, we're ready to come back at you. We got a great show tonight. But first, we want you to like, share, and subscribe. Come on, you can do it. Tell your friends. We've got a great show planned tonight. Oh, man, it's good to have you back. It's good to be back here in my basement. Well, you know what? It's still 2021, and which means it's been a week from, well, it means we have some headlines to talk about. Let's do it. First up, billionaires in space. In the worst intergalactic big dick competition, Virgin Atlantic's billionaire owner Richard Branson flew into space in a normal-looking spaceship last week. And then this week, Amazon's Jeff Bezos flew in a rocket that looked like a big white appendage, which might be humanity's first intergalactic self-own. It really does look like a penis. I mean, did no one once tell him? I mean, they even designed it with a foreskin. And now there are sex toys inspired by Jeff Bezos' dick ship. This is a very specific kink. Sci-fi sex toys that remind them of a billionaire's wang. Actually, if you're a nerdy debutante, that could be kind of hot. Maybe Elon Musk's spaceship will look like his balls. Well, anyway, and in all the billionaire space talk, I notice a certain proclaimed billionaire is missing. No, I'm not talking about Bloomberg. Bloomberg in space. Can you imagine? I mean, they don't make spacesuits in kids' sizes, Mike. I mean, Trump. Maybe you can't go to space if you're being audited for tax fraud or campaign financing or being a racist, raping dictator to our country. See, this is how we know Trump isn't really a billionaire. He's the only one not trying to go to outer space. Oh, my. Did you see Alabama Governor Kay Ivey cry on TV? It's time to blame the unvaccinated folks for the rise in COVID. I love how conservatives are all about the vaccine now, that the Delta wave is literally killing their voter base. Blame the unvaccinated. Please, you mean the people who did what you told them to do in the first place? Yeah, blame them. It's also time to blame the GOP for telling these dummies the pandemic is a hoax and that the COVID vaccine is full of government microchips being used to track us. Man, you have to be some sort of idiot to believe the government would track us with microchips in a vaccine and not realize they're already doing that through the phone you used to Google microchips in COVID vaccines. There is no vaccine for stupid. And finally, in this week's No Shit news segment, a Catholic priest will resign his post after phone data reveal he's been using Grindr. I mean, just be gay. Isn't it easier to just be gay than to pretend you're not, join the all-male priesthood, be celibate, and then have to have a secret life of random hookups like some sort of Wait, actually, that's sounding pretty hot. You keep that priest collar on, and I'll confess to everything. And that's this week's headlines. Yes, we're back. So you've seen me already. So let's look at Russell now. Come on in, Russell.
Hey,
Russell.
Amber. How are you?
Well, I'm all right. It was kind of a rough start getting things going here tonight.
We did have a little bit of a rough start, but welcome back after
Yes.
3 weeks off. I mean, we had 1 week off, and then we had 2 pre-recorded shows.
Yeah, they were great shows.
Yeah, they were. There's if you didn't get to see them and you haven't watched them yet, they're on YouTube, so you can go back and watch them at any time.
Yes.
And that means that YouTube is our best place to watch.
Yes,
And we do recommend that you watch on YouTube and also like, share, and subscribe to us on YouTube so you can keep up with everything that's going on. You'll get notifications as they YouTube when we go live on YouTube. But I do have a secret that I haven't told Amber tonight. We actually have 2 live shows going right now.
We do?
Believe it or not. Yes. We have this show, and then we are doing a behind-the-scenes live on TikTok in the control room, which means everybody can see everything that I'm doing on TikTok tonight, too. It's our very first live on TikTok. We're trying to up our game there. We're putting lots of new videos out there, lots of little clips from the show. And if you go on TikTok, you can watch and see what's going on behind the scenes while I run the show. Yeah, so I mean, it's basically what you're seeing of me right now too, but you get to watch it for the whole show, not just while I'm talking.
Good. All right, so what else, Russell? I don't have my schedule in front of me tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's my favorite time of the night to talk about, and we have a new thing here too, the Boostiers, which are the people who help us keep this show running, and we want to thank them all, our super Boostiers and our regular Boostiers. And you can become a Boostier and support the show using the Venmo at RJD Pro. But I also recently added a button on our website, amberlive.tv, support Amber Live. And if you want to use a credit card, you can go there and send us your support that way as well. So that's new. And then we have 3 levels of Boostiers. You can give anything you can. If you're not working right now, we totally understand. But if you can help us out, if you can give $20 to $5 or more, you get a sticker. $100 or more, you get a sticker and a magnet from us. And for $200 or more, we'll send you a sticker, a magnet, and an Amber Live mug. So thank you all to our Boostiers. And again, that Venmo is at RJD Pro. Or you can now go to the website. And you can get one of these mugs.
Yes. All right. So do we have a caption? Do we have a picture of the caption tonight?
We do have a caption tonight sent in by our good friend Gary Buck. I think this is the second one he sent in. This is our caption, this photo. So if you've got a funny caption for that photo, label it as a caption and put it in the comments. And tonight we have Cousin Craig as our ass comptroller. That's the assistant to Jack. He's watching for those captions, and I guess Ask Comptroller is really appropriate tonight. And he'll at the end of the show, we'll go through the captions and talk about the funniest ones. So,
all right. So before then, we've got some great guests. Tell us about the guests, Russell.
We do. We have quite a lineup tonight. Our 2 regularly scheduled guests tonight are Colleen Higgins, who is a pharmacist and an expert in medical cannabis, who's going to talk with Amber about that topic. And then we have the amazing DJ Rockstar Aaron coming on, who has a great online forbidden bingo game that anybody can join in and play. And he's also going to talk with you about some of the famous people who have played that game. So that should be interesting. And then we have 2 additional guests tonight to talk about the situation in Ptown. We have Kevin Walsh and Johnny Chagnon are both going to be on to talk about what's going on in Ptown. So that's our lineup of guests.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Russell. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Yes. So we were getting the show all lined up for this week. And then last Monday, we got this report of this big influx of COVID positivity rates jumping in Burlington and Chittenden County in Vermont. And a lot of it had to do with people who had gone to Provincetown the week before for Bear Week. And so I talked to one of those people earlier this week, and we have a recording of that right now. Let's show that. Thanks, Amber. Yes, tonight we're going to talk a little more about what's going on. We thought it was over with. We stopped asking people, so how you doing during COVID? Well, it's back. And we've got two guests tonight that are going to help us talk about it. Our first one is Burlington's own Johnny Chagnon. Johnny, come on in.
I'm in.
Hey, Johnny. Hi, Johnny. So you went to Ptown last week. You came back. You tested positive. Okay, let's do a little backstory first. What do you do for a living?
Well, right now, what I do for a living is COVID testing for the health department at the Pine Street location. So,
Okay, so yeah. So if anybody knows anything about this, it's you. So when did you get vaccinated?
I actually was in the first tier in Vermont, so I believe I was my second shot of Moderna was for February 15th. So
Wow, that's
one of the early ones.
yeah, very good. Okay, so and you've been administering tests since then. How is that? What are people's attitudes when they come in to get a test?
Most people are pretty great. Like it was very busy, like because we saw the worst of the pandemic this year, earlier this year. So a lot of people were symptomatic. A lot of school kids, outbreaks at the schools. Um, that all kind of died down, and now it's a lot of people just doing it for travel, which is kind of good to see. So it's like people who are like going on a fun vacation, so they're in a good mood or whatever. So it's
All
definitely
right,
uh,
fun vacation. Last week, you and your cadre of friends went down to Provincetown for Bear Week. Did you
mhm.
have any hesitancy at all?
I have been, since the reopening in Vermont, I've definitely gotten a lot more relaxed and being vaccinated because I believe in vaccinations. I believe strongly in them. Um, and I honestly didn't have any qualms about going on this vacation. So the only time when I started to was because I'm part of like the Provincetown community space and like some other Facebook groups for Bear Week. When I started to give it a little side eye was when after July 4th, people started posting about them and their fully vaccinated friends testing positive. And it wasn't really reported at the time. Like they weren't really saying much about it as a town or like in the news. Um, but I was seeing these people posting, and it seemed like a lot of people. And but then when I was looking at the report, the town manager said it was mostly unvaccinated people that were testing positive. So driving out there, I was still feeling pretty good. I didn't really have any like worries about this.
So, where did you stay when you were there?
At the Dunes Edge campground.
Okay. All right. So, fresh air,
Yeah, open
open
air.
air.
Pretty much like we did choose to do open air events. I avoided all the really like packed events like the A House and like the official events that they were having that week. We went to some of the smaller ones intentionally because we wanted to be less packed and open air events.
And so, did you go to the tea dance at the Boatslip?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We were hanging with some friends on the balcony, and they were having a party up there because they didn't want to go into the crowd. Like we were all kind of taking some precautions because we heard about the positives that were happening from July 4th.
So, what did they ask for vaccination proof when you were in P-Town at any of the locations?
Boatslip was the only place I was asked. So there's that.
So, what about mask wearing? Were people wearing masks?
Absolutely not. So I saw maybe a handful of people wearing masks. There were some staffs, like some restaurants where their staff was all wearing masks, but like at the Boatslip, most people weren't. And like Massachusetts isn't at 100% vaccination rate, so just seeing that is knowing that like there's a lot of unvaccinated people in the mix not wearing masks, and because not every place was asking for vaccination cards.
So, how many were in your troop of friends that went to Provincetown?
So we were camping at my campsite. There was like 3 people, and then there was a few other people at the campground. But I like to collectively say like the Vermont gays. There was a dozen of us that went out there.
A dozen. All right. So, how many of that dozen came back and tested positive?
So in my like the people that I know, I believe it's at 7 now, and then the official amount of people who've been tied to Ptown in Vermont is 10. So I'm sure there's going to be a few more too. We have a couple of like chats going, so we're all keeping tabs on each other. Because people are also like, you don't test positive right away. It's only been back, so everyone has to get retested who tested negative this weekend, just to make sure they're in the clear.
So what is the gap there from a type that if you caught it and then getting tested, it would show up on a test?
Typically, it's recommended to get tested up to 7 days after the exposure. If you're not feeling comfortable with that, like the older recommendation was 14 days after the exposure. So honestly, I would trust that more. Like,
all right.
If you test after your exposure, then you're in the clear.
All right. So, any regrets?
It was a fun weekend. Like, I had regrets because honestly, we all went into it with the best intentions. We had a great time together. We were honestly following the guidelines that were given to us. So, I'm not going to say that we're not. We did put ourselves at risk. We took that risk. But I don't think it was communicated to us what the risk actually was, because there's been I think it's upward of 300 people now that are linked to this outbreak, fully vaccinated. So we weren't aware that was the risk, that like everyone who was testing positive was fully vaccinated.
All right. So this weekend, there were two events that were scheduled. One was the House of LeMay's SantaCon pub, Christmas in July pub crawl on Saturday night. And on Sunday was the return of Burly Bear, the male dance party that happens monthly, or did happen monthly until March. And it was going to return this week. Wednesday, they canceled Burly Bear. And today, Friday, we canceled tomorrow night's pub crawl. Good ideas?
Yes, because I know there was more people than just my friend group who went to Ptown, and there's a lot of people who are like testing negative right as soon as they get home and being like, "Oh, I'm all good," and then they're going off and they're not getting retested. So I definitely think it's good to be cautious at least the first like month after. Honestly, like. I don't even know how long we need to be cautious. Like, we need to figure out what was going on. Like, if this was a new strain, or like, if we need to get booster shots. That's the talk that's happening right now. Like, we got to figure out what the hell happened in Ptown before we feel confident again.
All right. So I'm not your first interview. You've been on Good Morning America. You've been on our local CBS channels, WCAX Channel 3. Any other interviews have you done?
Yeah, there was another one, but honestly, I can't even find it. So some local news in Boston. But yeah.
All right. Well, Johnny.
I was like tested. I was having like a fever, and I was like really loopy, so I don't even remember the interview.
So your symptoms were rather mild, weren't they?
I think they could have been much worse. I definitely think that the vaccine helped, but I still had a fever for 2 days. I'm still feeling very like loopy. Like, I get really tired and winded when I leave bed, and this is 4 days out. Congested. It felt like it hit me hard, but I definitely think it could have been harder.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Johnny. Thank you, because Russell and I hope to be in Ptown in 3 weeks, and we're taking your advice, and we'll be paying attention. So thank you very much for sharing your information with us, and take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Wow. A lot to learn, a lot to take in. We'll have more later on. Thank you. Yes, thank you, John, for coming on and talking about that. Had to be kind of tough, but that was Friday. So let's catch up and find out what's happening in Provincetown right now. So we'd like to bring in Kevin Walsh. Kevin, come on in. Hi, Kevin.
How are you?
All right, so I'm okay. I'm doing fine. How are you? Because you work at the Boatslip and you tested positive this week.
I did, yeah. And there have been some of us there who have tested positive and also following the guidelines from what we understood. So being one of the only places in town, and there are now others that are starting to test and not test, but ask for vaccination evidence. We've been pretty much staying the course all the way since June. And you know what? I have to say, this past week, I deviated, and therefore, here I am. Probably went into areas that were smaller and kind of tighter with less ventilation. And it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. So how's the Boatslip doing? I mean, it's the big place to be from 4 o'clock to 7 every afternoon. I mean, how many people fit on that deck?
Oh, I mean, you can get anywhere over 2,500, just under 3,000 or so folks there. Certainly was tested during July 4th week, especially on a couple of days. One in particular, we got rain. So we were turning people away. And I think a lot of people saw that video of the lines heading down Commercial Street, mostly because our ability to pack that many people in is reduced as soon as it starts raining. Of course, if you just get room under the tent or in the dance floor, it becomes much less. And we were keeping people with townie passes, et cetera, out as well. We had to. So once you reach that capacity, you have to do that.
All right. So what has changed this past week in Provincetown? Anything?
Oh, I think many more businesses have now taken it to heart on both wearing masks indoors and also asking for evidence of vaccination. So I've only just recently heard about this, and I can't say from specific businesses just yet, but others are following that path that the Boatslip began. And it was the town that suggested it as much as well. So in that first week, when we started hearing about July 4th and the issues that folks were having just after that, the town got onto that and at least said, here is what we think are the best practices going forward. And because of that, some other businesses said, okay, we're going to do masks indoors. We're going to require it of our guests. And we're going to be more forthcoming about that. I think we all were lulled into this sense of, if you're vaccinated, you can move freely. And it is what it is. Here's where we are.
Well, we could if everyone got vaccinated, but that's another story.
It would
so how about
help. Yeah.
How about the shows? I know Miss Richfield was inside. Is she still inside, do you know, or they moved back to the parking lot?
I've heard at least that there were plans for those to move outside. Varla Jean was also looking to move outside as well. So the Crown and Anchor, I know, has turned the Wave Bar into more like a dressing room. And that works for both the Paramount indoors, but also works for anything that needed to be moved outdoors. So each one of those businesses is taking it very seriously. So if you're Paige Turner or Miss Richfield, I believe that those plans were to at least get more fresh air in, if not move it out again. The town is so familiar with how to do it now that it's just retooling it and moving those shows outside. We just
what do you see? You know, do you see anything coming up the rest of the summer? What?
I really don't second guess anything with Carnival at this point. If anything, it's going to be smaller gatherings. We're looking at other events that happen even in the fall. I mean, I'd help with Harbor of the Bay, and we're second guessing some of that too, because we were doing more localized events, even a bike ride that was going to be Provincetown to Wellfleet or just in the Boston area. And we have to really stay on top of our public officials and our health officials and keeping them in the loop as to what's the safest for the participants.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on and telling us. You're giving me a little hope. Like I said, Russell and I will be down there for Carnival Week, and we're looking forward to it. And unless you close the door and don't let us in, we're going to be there, and we'll be safe.
I will look forward to seeing it. And if you have any tips on how to get smell and taste back, by all means, send them on.
People say I've never had any taste. So
you got lots of taste to do.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Kevin. And tell Trampolina I said hello.
I sure will. Thanks so much, Amber.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, I think everyone watching this show has been vaccinated. I trust that. You're smart enough to watch the show, so you're smart enough to get the shot. So We got to wear masks. Yeah, we got to start wearing our masks again just to protect others. All right, so now on with our regularly scheduled programming. Our first guest is Colleen Higgins. Colleen Higgins is a pharmacist, and she's an expert on medical marijuana. So, Colleen, come on in my basement. Hi there, Colleen.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, thank you very much. So, why are you an expert on medical marijuana?
Good question. I guess I'm an expert as much as the next guy, probably because I wrote a book, The Cannabis Prescription. I wrote a book last year, which I published. Basically, I've been working in medical cannabis dispensaries here in Connecticut. We have a medical program. We just did get the recreational legalized, or adult use. I think they're saying adult use these days. But for now, we've had the medical program since 2014. So I have counseled many, many, many patients. And after a certain amount of time, I realized that there was a gap between patients understanding cannabis and the products that we have. So I decided to write the book as a bridge so medical patients could understand it. You know, a lot of people think marijuana is just to get high, but when you're treating it as a medicine and a drug for patients, they get really lost and overwhelmed. So I ended up writing my book, which has over 250 studies. A lot of people think there aren't studies on cannabis. There's a lot. So I put them in there as well. And I guess that would qualify me as an expert at this point.
All right. So you're mainly aiming towards the patients, but what about the doctors? Are the doctors aware of the benefits of marijuana?
Great question. I'm actually developing a training course now. Over the time that I've worked in these dispensaries, I've noticed how the healthcare experts have, unfortunately, because cannabis is a Schedule I drug, it's federally illegal, and therefore it's not taught in schools. It's not taught in pharmacy schools and medical schools. So our healthcare experts are just undereducated on the subject, and that will lead to them not understanding how their patients are using the medication. So I'm developing a training program for both employees of the dispensary to learn how to communicate to medical cannabis patients, and as well for the healthcare practitioners, so they have an understanding of how the dispensary works, how patients choose their products, and how they start to use it as a medicine.
Okay, so how many states is medical marijuana legal or available?
I think right now 36. But it's changing every day. You know, this is rapidly growing. All we're waiting for is the federal government to reschedule it to a legal status. So, you know, we don't have to deal with this kind of tiptoeing around all the time, and we can actually have it fully legalized at that point.
Well, you know, the old white guys have figured out how to make money on it. You know,
Yeah.
if you see John Boehner now, sure, smoke pot.
They're already in there. They're already in there. They've already bought out. I did not realize that most of the dispensaries that are in the United States at this point are under the top 5 cannabis companies. You know, there's only 5. You know, a lot of white guys who have a lot of money and go in and pluck the licenses out. So it's already become very much a corporation type of an environment, which is unfortunate. So they need even more help. They don't know. They're just interested in grabbing the licenses and buying up them. But my concern is for the patients. This is patients that come in who are sick, who are in pain, who are often seniors, who have been through so much medication and so many doctors and are confused. And we have to remember that's why we're here. So I want them to understand it. If they use too much THC, they're going to be uncomfortable in a big way. And we want to avoid that. We want them to learn how to use these products effectively, comfortably. So that's my concern. You know, that somebody else with a lot of money can worry about, you know, buying up all the licenses. That's not going to be me.
So in Vermont, we've had medical marijuana for a while now. And next year there's going to be dispensaries for a public sale. And they've been bought up by, I believe, companies from Canada who have come in and done that. Yeah. So, all right. Let's say I'm not feeling well and I can go to a regular dispensary to get my marijuana. Can I self-treat? Is that advisable?
Sure. As long as you don't take too much. See, that's the key with cannabis is you can easily take too much. I would say the edibles are kind of the most popular. You know, somebody takes a gummy, they think it's benign. How bad can a gummy be? So they take one and then a half hour later they go, oh, that's not working. I should probably take another one. And that's the first mistake. It takes a little over an hour for it to start working. And if you double dose, then in 2 hours, you're going to be regretting it. And you're just going to say, I feel like I want to die and this is horrible and I made a mistake and that whole thing. So if we can avoid that, same thing with smoking. I did not realize when I was first starting to take care of patients that you have to tell them to take one puff. I had a 76-year-old lady. She was lovely. She was a former smoker. So she thought that joint we sent her home with was a perfect cigarette. She smoked the whole thing. And, and she goes, I just didn't prefer it, which I couldn't believe. Another gentleman, same thing. He was a smoker. He thought you were supposed to smoke the whole thing, and he ended up throwing up and falling over and the whole mess. And so, one puff is to start with 2 to 3 seconds long. Keep the dose low. Take it very, very slow. Also, something other people don't realize is if you have a product that mixes CBD and THC together, it tends to be more mild. It doesn't have as much of the psychedelic effect. So a lot of people actually really like a blend of close to equal amounts of THC and CBD. It's just a more mild effect that a lot of first-time users tend to find a little bit easier to use.
I was out in Denver several years ago, and I went to a dispensary because I was curious, and I thought it'd be very professional. They, one at a time we were let in there, and we had our own person who would take care of us, and it was very asked specific questions, what we were looking for, what we wanted to avoid, and I really thought it was, I really felt comfortable with what I was buying from them because of their knowledge and the way they presented things.
Yeah, I've been into some great places in Colorado as well. Fantastic. I left a really big, I won't say the name of it, but a really big dispensary. There were several locations throughout Colorado. Denver, I actually went to as well. And when I bought some vapes that of oil, and you use it on a battery, and proceeded to go home and immediately burn them out within the first 3 minutes because nobody had told me that you need to use it on a lower battery temperature or you're going to burn out your vape and break it. So those little things just got under my skin, and I thought, we can do so much better with this program. We can really bring it up to a professional level. We can answer those questions that people need before they even answer them, before they even ask them. So little things like that, if we can educate the patient, I think it'll go a long way for the program itself.
So if you had your way, what would you see the future of medical marijuana? What would happen?
For recreational, I would say go at it. Have a great time. Keep your doses low. I hear people that, they take a candy bar home of 50 or 100 milligrams. And they're like, I'm going to take the whole thing. It just is silly. And it's you're asking for trouble at that point. But as a pharmacist, I've seen people abuse drugs again and again. So that's not really a problem. I would like to see patients that need it. Specifically, our senior patients, once they have their disease state escalates, so their pain escalates, or their Parkinson's escalates, or their, something escalates. A lot of times the pharma drugs that are available to them, they can't take anymore. They're contraindicated. So cannabis is a perfect medication for our senior patients, but if they're not instructed on how to use it, oftentimes they just won't use it at all and they'll just continue to live in pain. So I really hope that we keep the medical providers educated and we can educate our patients so they feel safe and comfortable. And that's kind of my dream, is that the medical patients, the recreational side will take care of itself. I'm sure it'll make plenty of money. People have a good time. The medical patients, I just hope that they're taken care of and we can have providers that really understand the drug for them.
So are you getting any pushback from big pharma or any medical people? Not yet, but you never know. They're of course behind the scenes, I'm sure, trying to get into the industry. I have no doubt. I am, my book, I am unable to advertise it on Amazon because it says I'm promoting cannabis. So when you're in the cannabis industry, I actually had an account. I had a 401k account. Well, that was at Fidelity. When I was working at the dispensaries, I was asked not to work with Fidelity anymore because I was a cannabis employee. So I'm just hoping we get it really by being in the industry. We have limitations. So I really would like it to be rescheduled. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Enough of these games that we play. It's enough. Let's just reschedule the drug. We can allow banking. We can allow all kinds of things, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. And people that have
worked all their life. They don't have to worry about it anymore. It's just it's enough. We've had enough.
How many states is marijuana the number one cash crop that just goes?
Yeah.
I know Vermont. It's in Vermont. It is.
Vermont,
I always say
Colorado,
Florida.
Yeah. Florida is massive. They have a massive. Arizona has also gotten very, very big. Washington,
West Virginia.
Virginia,
all of them.
They're growing it everywhere. Except Mississippi, where they have the government state. So and the products are really fantastic. That's the other thing. I actually listened to a podcast on Maine yesterday, and Maine has kept the big guys out. They don't want the big corporations coming and buying up all the licenses. They've kept it in a more boutique type of cannabis, and they feel they have the best cannabis in the entire country because it's grown by people that really want to grow it and really have an artisan taste for it. With these big companies growing in big buildings, you lose something there. So I hope there's a lot of different levels within the industry, and it all doesn't get bought up by all these rich white guys. I really hope that does happen.
You and me both. Well, Colleen, thank you so much for coming on tonight and enlightening us about the medical marijuana. Thank you. Wait. I got one more question. COVID, do you see it helping anything with the COVID patients?
I had a friend who is a grower in Rhode Island. So they're allowed to grow plants for themselves and for patients. And she was using the oils, which means she was putting them under her tongue several times a day. And she said it helped her because remember, COVID is a disease of massive inflammation. You have massive inflammation of the lungs, massive inflammation of the body, of the nerves. And so and cannabis is an anti-inflammatory. So she was using the oils throughout COVID, and she said it helped her symptoms tremendously.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Colleen. Hope to hear more from you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, educational tonight, aren't we? All right. Hey, Russell, is it time for you? I got to look at my list. Let's see.
I think it's time for your top 5, Amber.
Oh, it is? All right. Thank you very much, Russell. Yeah, earlier tonight we were talking about those billionaires in space. I got to thinking, what would I do if I went out in space? Well, these are the top 5 things I would do in space. Number 5, I'd be really light in my loafers because there's no gravity. Number 4, I'd tell everyone to call me Captain Amber. The number 3 things I would do in space is I'd avoid Uranus. Seriously, I'm going to avoid Uranus. Number 2, I'd enjoy the shaft of that rocket. Yes, I would. And the number 1 thing I would do if I was out in space, I'd become the drag queen of Mars and then be eligible for the Miss Universe pageant. That's what I would do if I were sent into space. All right. Now, Russell, is it time for you?
Now it's time for me again.
All right.
Great show so far.
Yes,
wonderful job. So
we got more coming up. We got DJ Rockstar Aaron, and we got Rocco, and probably something else too. Who knows?
Who knows here? So, but first, let's not forget the caption. This I'll put that back up there. This is from our friend Gary Buck sent this in. So if you've got a funny caption for that, just put it in the comments, and Craig will collect those for later on. And then one more reminder about our Bustier Club. We'd love to have you join and help us keep running here. And you can do that using Venmo at RJD Pro or going to our website, amberlive.tv, and just look for that big blue button that says support Amber Live. Amber needs all the support she can get. And there is one other way you can support us. And I'll let our sponsor tell you.
Summertime, and it's time for vacation. Where would I want to go? I know. I think I'd like to go to the beach. Don't worry, I'm bringing my vodka with me. Oh, wow. If I'm going to the beach, you know what? I'm going to need some beach towels. Where can I get some quality beach towels? I know, amberlive.tv. There's a bunch of collection of really nice towels. And how about some t-shirts and some muscle shirts? Those would look nice on the beach. And let's see, if it gets cool at night at the clam bake, what am I going to wear? I better take along my Amber Live TV sweatshirt. Yes, that would be fun to wear. And then at night,
Oh, at night, I don't have to order anything because I already have my Amber Live TV pillow. Oh, it's so soft. You're going to love it. And then the next morning, what are you going to need? You're going to need an Amber Live mug to drink your coffee or whatever you want to put in it. And if you haven't gotten enough peen lately, check out our Rusty Peen collection. Everyone wants more peen. All this and more is available at amberlive.tv. Order yours today.
Yes,
Russell,
that's right.
I saw someone posted a picture the other day of an Amber Live trowel. Do we have a copy of that? Do we have a picture of that?
Oh, I do not have a copy of that. I will get that and we'll show it later in the show. How's that?
Okay, good. Yes.
All right.
We don't need to share their caption that they put with it.
Certainly not from one of them.
Yeah.
But I will pull that down and have it ready. So, all right, enjoy the rest of the show.
All right. Thank you, Russell. All right. Our next guest is calling in from out west. So let's bring on DJ Rockstar Aaron. DJ.
Oh, hi, Amber.
Am I interrupting anything?
Oh, I was just powdering my nose and touching up my eyelashes. I'm having a wonky one here and drinking some vodka.
Oh, that's my favorite drink. Yes,
vodka
it is.
Soda.
Yep, that's it. Do you have a soda stream? I found that to be very economical.
But you have to have the water like ice cold for it to work the best.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. That's very good. All right. So now is Rockstar your birth name? How did you become Rockstar? DJ Rockstar.
At one point I was working a normal job and I'd go out on Friday and Saturday nights and I just started like becoming a club kid in Denver and I thought, wow, I want to get paid to go out. And then the next thing you know, I became a DJ because I don't want to sell bottle service because I'm kind of shy and I really don't want to clean up anything. So I was like, yeah, I'll become a DJ. And I became a DJ. And the rest is history.
So you became a DJ in Denver. How long were you in Denver? Because you've branched out since then.
So I split my time between Denver and Las Vegas. There's not a lot of clubs here in Denver for me to DJ at. So I play in Vegas at Piranha Nightclub, which is like my home club. If you're in Vegas, go to Piranha Nightclub. It's the best. But, I still need to work. So in Denver, I DJ at a lot of bars and lounges. And I produced this event called Forbidden Bingo 9 years ago. And we started it in person and it just took off. So during the week, we've always done it in person. And then COVID hit last year and I thought, what am I going to do? And I panicked for a week. And then I was like, oh, I could do it online. So we launched it online.
And we've got a video telling us about that. So Russell, throw that video on there. Maybe Russell's busy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to play an online party edition of Forbidden Bingo.
Let's play. Everybody wave hello to Amanda Lepore in the house.
Hi, good to see you.
Amanda Lepore! Forbidden Bingo!
Who's got a bingo? Carmen's bingo.
I mean, look, you get on everything. Bingo, sex toys, and strippers.
Hi. How are you? I'm good. Happy Thursday.
Anna, say hi to Ariana. Hello.
Hi, Ariana.
This is Sabrina.
Oh, hi.
You look interesting.
Thank you. It's a good bingo.
I had a
And
great
Mama June, she's back here hopefully every week. I know. I love.
Definitely we'll be back. Thank you.
I love
so
your
much.
face.
Wow. So how many do you get playing every week?
How many what?
How many log on and play every week?
Oh, we get about 75. It goes up and down depending on, things opening up and such. But we did do it 4 nights a week. It's now only on Thursdays online because we sort of cultivated a following on Thursdays, thankfully. And it's me and my amazing bingo caller who's out of Las Vegas, Rich, and then the go-go dancer, Curtis. And my friend Bianca told me about you, so shout out Bianca. She's
yes,
turned me on to Amber Live. And it's so fun. It's free to play. We send out all the bingo cards and then prizes like this.
And what is that?
It's a ring. We'll just say it's a ring.
It's a ring.
It's a ring. You could put it on your finger wherever you'd like. Use it as a hair tie. It's a ring, Amber. Just put a ring on it.
If I win, how do I get that prize?
I will mail it to you, priority mail, and you'll get it within like 2 days.
Oh, well, how exciting. How exciting. So any other big stars on your show?
We had Ariana Grande on there, and that was a total surprise to me. I had no idea she was going to be on. I didn't even know it was Ariana Grande when they were like, hi to Ariana. I was like, hi, Ariana. And then she put it on her Instagram, and people started blowing messages up to me. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then later on, I realized, it was like, oh my God, Ariana Grande's playing bingo. And it was her mom, Joan's birthday, and they were doing a birthday party. So that's kind of how that came about. And they won a 10-inch toy too.
So now you're just doing it on Thursdays. Are you back in the clubs?
We're back in person Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and Thursdays it's online, and on the weekends I DJ in clubs. So I DJ the bingo, and then we have a bingo caller. But that's kind of my weekday career, and then on the weekends I'm DJing festivals and everything.
What do you have lined up for the rest of the summer?
So I'll be DJing at EDC in October.
Now, what's EDC?
Electric Daisy Carnival. It's this humongous festival. 500,000 people attend it.
Is that in Miami?
They do one in Miami, and there's one in Vegas. So I'll be at the one in Vegas in October. Hopefully Miss COVID doesn't do anything to disrupt it. It was supposed to be in May, but they moved it. So yeah.
Well, that's exciting. That's exciting. So what else would you like to do? I mean, you like to take chances. You're creative. What would you like to do?
Well, I don't know much about you, so I have a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. Cotton candy or corn dogs?
Oh, cotton candy.
Perfect. Me too. That's my favorite. What's your favorite candle scent?
Actually, amber. I love the scent of amber. Not me personally, but
Palm Springs or Ptown?
Oh, Ptown. I've never been to Palm Springs. I'd go there if someone wanted to invite me, but
it's so
P-Town.
hot, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Have you been to Provincetown?
No, I've never been to Provincetown, but I've been to Palm Springs. I kind of like it. Just like in the winter time, though. It's just, a short flight. So yeah, I like that. Okay, here's the main question to know if we could be best friends forever. Cyndi
Okay.
Lauper or Madonna?
Ooh, oh my. Oh, I would like to hang out with Cyndi Lauper.
Okay, good. Okay, yes, we're gonna be best friends forever. That was a perfect answer. I seen Cyndi Lauper in concert over 100 times. She's my favorite.
But the way she wrote the Broadway show,
Kinky Boots.
yes, with Harvey Fierstein, and just exciting. And the commercial she does is kind of interesting too. What she does.
Oh yeah. For the psoriasis. Yeah.
Yes, she's a real person.
Yeah, she's amazing. Maybe she'll play our Forbidden Bingo sometime. That would be really nice.
That would be.
It's free. We're not going to charge her or anybody. You could just sign up at forbiddenbingo.com every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and you could figure out the times. But you could play from anywhere. We have people that play from Canada, Hawaii. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Right, very good. Well, thank you very much, DJ Rockstar Aaron.
Thank you for
stopping
having
in
me.
tonight.
I'm going to go pour some more Grey Goose vodka and soda and enjoy my evening and watch the rest of your show.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Yes, bye-bye. Oh, how interesting out there in Las Vegas. We got a couple guests from Las Vegas. I'm going to have to go out there sometime. Yes. Have you been to Las Vegas? I wonder what your favorite part of Las Vegas is. I like the old town of Las Vegas. I like that. I think it's Fremont Street. Yes, I like that. All right. So Russell, see,
Yes,
I don't see
how are
Rocco. Is Rocco in the house?
He is not yet in the house. He's logging in right now, he said. So
Okay.
I'm waiting for him to appear. We do
All
want to
right.
see Rocco because, you give him 3 weeks off and he doesn't think he has to come back and do any work, apparently. But
Yeah.
he should be here very soon. I texted him and he said, logging in now. Of course,
All right.
who knows with him.
So you played you played
Yes?
bingo with Rockstar Aaron, haven't you?
I have. I had a lot of fun one evening, and it was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be because we usually play with Miss Richfield, which is just an hour, although she never keep and well, now that she has a show and she has a deadline, she does keep to the 1 hour, but before it was always longer than that. But
Yes.
I think with DJ Rockstar Aaron, it was over 2 hours we were playing.
Wow.
And I was impressed, and everybody was busy and stayed involved, and he had quite a crowd going, so it was great.
Oh, good.
It's great.
Well,
I didn't
nice
win
one.
anything though, You hope for those prizes, but
Yeah. Who's that 10-inch thing?
well, he didn't have any of those Jeff Bezos rockets yet, but
So, all right. So let's bring Cousin Craig in and have him
let's
do
talk
some
to-
of the captions. While
Here
we're
he
waiting for Rocco.
is.
Hello.
Hi, Cousin Craig. All right. So what's been the buzz there in the comments for the caption? Let's show that picture.
I think a lot of people were a little shy about commenting about this because we only had comments from 2 people. Kim Hood said, where is that here? 810. Am I supposed to do what with that? And then both she and Gary said, there she blows. And oh, hell no. Let me scroll down a couple others they had. Everybody out of the pool. It's a black hole and we'll all get sucked in.
Oh, my goodness. Gary.
Like Lisa's got his name on the quote, right?
Yes.
and
All right.
and we just got one from our guest Kevin. He wrote in the private chat. Now that's no blowhole.
Oh, and I think this is one for Matt.
Before the boat capsizes. All right.
I was thinking, God, I wish my sister would stop doing that.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you very much for filling in tonight, Cousin Craig.
You're welcome.
Yes, very good. Always good to see you. You're great.
Say hi to
great
Rocco.
friend and supporter. Will do. All right. Rocco is in the house. So let's say hello to Rocco Zamboni. Rocco.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry, Cousin Craig. I had technical issues.
Oh, we've had him here tonight. That's for sure. So,
Oh, yeah.
Rocco, how you been? I've missed you.
I know. It's like every Sunday I'm like, I got to get on the air. And no, I don't. This is weird.
Yeah, it was.
I'm
It
still
was.
trying to work. I was watching some of the videos. I'm like, my line of sight is so out of whack. I got to remember where I got to look. How's this
You want to
look?
look at yourself. You want to look at yourself, don't you?
Well, I'm looking at you on the screen like this. I got to look up here. It's weird.
Yes. So, Rocco,
Hey, Cam, how you doing?
you're exposing more skin tonight than usual.
I know. I'm like, I shouldn't button. There's one button. What the hell am I thinking? Although I
look
did
sharp,
I gotta get a new wardrobe. This is
Why's that?
I gotta get a new wardrobe. You know, I'm wearing the same stuff I wore back in the day, you know?
Well, if it still fits, you're lucky.
Damn right.
So what have you been doing the past 3 weeks? Anything exciting?
Well, I've been coming up with this business plan. I don't know. I'm working on it. I came up with an idea. You know, I've been watching a lot of these cooking shows, and I'm thinking, you know, I know my way around the kitchen. I know, you know, people. I know what people like, and I thought about theme restaurants. And I'm like, what's a theme that I know that people would get a kick out of? So I'm gonna give you my pitch. All right, I got to read some of it, but the place I'm thinking about opening is called Cafe Bag a Douche. Cafe for douchebags.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm thinking I'll open one on Long Island, one on the Jersey Shore, and, you know, this is how it would go. Like I said, I got to read it because I've been writing it, and I don't commit stuff to memory that often, and unless it's a chick's name, then I got to do that because that's caused trouble in the past. But right now, okay, hey, Cafe Douchebag, the cafe for douchebags. All the waiters are men, all right? Who naturally are all douchebags, of course. They'll hit on your wife or your girlfriend and not so discreetly follow them into the ladies' room where they are treated to an array of hooting and hollering while they pee. Now, you might think, I gotta punch this guy. But remember, these are professional douchebags. They can talk their way out of anything. All right? But don't worry, guys. We got you covered. Our bartenders are going to be all hot chicks. And we got, you know, we got a mandatory fake boob thing. So you got to have the big boobs in order to work there. And, you know, you're going to be guaranteed to be pleased. That is, until they spit in your drink, because let's face it, they too are douchebags. So I know you're thinking, well, this is dumb. Why should I go there? Well, because we got the douchiest chefs in town with our own signature dishes. Try the pasta fango, you know, or the fish tacos for starters. And then you could move your way on to main courses such as the chicken shit. It's ground chicken rolled in the shape of a turd with some kind of sauce on it. And then meat lovers, of course, can try the hot beef injection. It's a New York strip steak that the menu will state is 12 ounces, but in reality is only 6, you know? And one favorite dish I hear, anyway, is going to be the Coney Island whitefish. It comes with a creamy Alfredo sauce, and you're going to think, oh, this is so good, it washed up right onto my plate. And don't forget, we got our newest dish, which is called Eat a Bag of Dicks. It's basically a couple of hot dogs in a sack covered in mayo. So come to Cafe Bag of Douche. We'll bring the douche bag out in you.
So are you selling franchise? Are you going to franchise this out?
Well, that's the plan. But right now, I got to open the first one. I'm still working on a business plan. I got some guys who, in the karting business who can help me out with a lot of stuff because they know this thing. Well, that's a family restaurant, so bring the little assholes too.
A kids menu. Yeah, you have to have a kids menu as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rocco. It's good seeing you, and you're looking sharp.
You too. Thank you, Amber. You're looking pretty hot yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I try. Have a good week, Rocco.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. All right, Russell. Come back again.
Oh, my goodness. I never know what he's going to say.
I know, but I think he has something with that restaurant idea. All right, Russell. So what do we have?
Everybody loves a theme.
What do we have coming up next week, Russell?
Next week, we have two great guests coming up, and one of them is Gene DiNapoli, who is a Elvis impersonator as well as a performer. And I talked with him the other night and had a fun chat. So he's high energy and should be a great time. And then we have a gentleman named Evan Stern, not from Letterkenny, if anyone's a Letterkenny fan, but he is also an actor. And he has a project called Vanishing Postcards that's quite interesting. So it will be another great show with lots of fun guests, and probably Rocco, and I think Rusty Peen will be returning next week, and we may even get Jack back as well.
Oh, man. And Lucy Bell. What's Lucy Bell up to?
I don't know. You were supposed to go out in the town with her this weekend. I thought you'd get the
Yes. Oh, no. And on Wednesday, we'll be doing Amber Chat again. So Wednesday around 8:15, we go live. That's why you need to subscribe, so get notified when we go live. All right. Wednesday night, 8:15, Amber Chat. We talked for about an hour. We had a good time. All right. Well, thank you very much, Russell. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back. I've really missed it the past 3 weeks. I hope you have too. So anyway, as we said earlier in the show, got to start wearing the mask again. And if you know of anybody who hasn't got the vaccination, send them my number. I want to talk to them. All right. Until then, I'll see you next Sunday night, 8:00 Eastern. I'm going to be here. Hope you will be too. Bye-bye.
Watching this show makes me want to shank a bitch.
I've got my shank at home. Let's go get it.
Yeah!
Just kidding. I don't have a shank.
Yet.